Hello and welcome to my channel, Kelly Legends Media. Well, today's a big day. We got a new president, an old new president. To be very honest with you, I don't vote since my rights to vote were taken away. I never went and re-registered, I don't know if I can vote being a ex-felon, but during the time that I wasn't able to vote being an ex-felon, I just said how with it, I never went to go see if I could re-register or not. Anyways, I didn't really pay too much attention with this race. I know when Trump was president, I was hating on him because of all the rhetoric, the way he talked and stuff, and the way he presented himself, But after listening to him, he makes a lot of sense about a lot of things. I don't have a choice but to give him a chance and hope for the best, So I wish him luck as our president of this next term. I did this video mostly because of the genre that I have my channel in. It's considered a prison genre. It tells prison stories, hood stories, jail stories, cultural stories, and this affects all those areas. Where we live, of course, and inside the jails and prisons. It's going to be a lot of things changing. Before I get into those changes, Associated Press has issued some decisions on 3 propositions that I know of, as far as like being already decided. And the way they do that is, if there's a certain amount of votes in and the percentage is so much leaning to one side, Associated Press at some point makes a decision to call it, okay? So they called it on 3 of them. The main one I want to talk about is Proposition 36, but they also called Proposition 3 and Proposition 33, which I'll get into in a minute. But before I do, I want to mention one election year that I was in prison. I was next door to a guy from Orange County from F Troop. Good dude, man. He had 25 to life. He stole a pack of batteries for his daughter. They were waiting in the car, and the daughter's doll died, and she was fussing and crying. He couldn't get the mom on the phone, so he got the little girl and went in, and didn't have any money on him, and he got 2 batteries. Okay, and somehow went through the store and popped them in the doll and walked around the store, met the mom finally in the store, and then they walked out. They got him, gave him 25 years to life, struck him out as his 3rd strike. Okay, so this year that they were voting, when we were neighbors, our 2 cells were directly connected just by the small wall. The doors were very close together. And during this election, they were voting on the proposition that had to do with the 3 strikes law, about amending the 3 strikes law and making it only for violent crimes and so on and so forth. And I remember throughout that election, man, we were, I could hear him cheering, and I got excited for him, It didn't affect me one way or the other, but I got excited for him because I wanted him to go home. We talked a lot about family and different things, and I just wanted to see him go home, Well, that proposition was for the most part looking like it was way up in front, right? So what happens is he finally it's one of the viewers drove by right now, and he goes, "New video." I think he got me confused with Dub's channel. But anyways, so what happens is I start dozing off, right? And at the end of it all, it got denied. Okay, they lost. It was so far behind. The percentage was so much on the no side. And man, I told him, hey, I woke up and I'm like, hey man, what happened? He goes, nah, this is man, and I fucking did. He was all pissed off, disappointed and stuff, you know. And I go, all right, hey homie, we'll talk about it tomorrow. And he goes, yeah, all right, homie, good night, buenas noches. And man, I sat there and I felt his regret, you know, his sorrow that it didn't go his way. And today when I was watching, I seen Pamela Harris's, or Kamala Harris, whatever her name is, her people's faces, man, when when she wouldn't even come out and do a speech, you know, and just talk to her constituents and, you know, thank them for the support. Or anything. She didn't even come out. She lost the election, and her people, you know, there was crying and hugging and all of this stuff going on in the crowd, you know. And you know, they had their feelings and they were feeling that disappointment for some reason. But I remembered the disappointment I felt for my homeboy from F Troop, man. Felt bad for dude. But the good news is, next time around, they they repealed the law, and they changed it, and those people that had those life sentences, the 25 to life, and had been persecuted and sentenced for little misdemeanor like petty theft and stuff, they got out. So I know sometime after I left, he left that place, you know, and he still had a long ways to go, man. And I was really happy for him. A lot of these propositions could still change. Votes are still are still coming in and are being counted. Nevertheless, Associated Press has called these three results already, because the percentage lead in whatever direction, a yes or a no, is too big. Okay, they don't see it changing. The first one I'm just going to mention real quick because it's one of them. It's Proposition 3, which is a high percentage of yes. Okay, and what that one does, it amends the Constitution. There's a part of the Constitution that indicates that only men and women can be wed. Okay, that was added to the Constitution in 2008 when Proposition 8 was passed. Okay, now Proposition 8 was against same-sex marriage. Nevertheless, they were never able to enforce that decision because of I guess a lawsuit that a landmark case or something that requires all the states to issue a marriage license to people of the same sex. So both laws passed, but one didn't allow the other to be enacted on. Okay, and that's where you got the same sex marriages. Anyway, so I guess now they're going to remove that verbiage from the Constitution about only men and women can be wed. That's the way I understood it. I'm not very good at politics. I told you a long time ago I don't get involved with politics or anything. But when I get to Proposition 36, it has very much to do with what we always talk about, and that's prison, jail, stuff like that. And the way it's going to affect a lot of people that are out here right now that won't be out here for long. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Proposition 33 also didn't pass. Okay, high percentage of no's, and that's a proposition was for the government to have more leeway on creating rent control. And it was believed, and a lot of people felt that would help people on fixed incomes, people like me and people like a lot of yous, you know, and it would allow the government to kind of step in and not let the landlords get ridiculous on the raising the rent and the amount that they charge for single home dwellings and dwellings built after the mid 1990s. Nevertheless, it looks like Associated Press called it that it didn't pass, and so we're going to see how that's going to affect our elderly, which is sad because our elderly people and the sick people that are going to be most affected by this couldn't get out there and vote. You know, a lot of them can't even get to the market. You know, they have to have somebody go to the market for them, unless they received a voting packet in the mail and they had somebody to see that through for them. But for the most part, the people that it's going to affect the most, I don't think a lot of them were able to get out there. Not only them, but the homeless people. You know, most of the homeless people, they're lost. You know, they probably didn't even know it was election day. Half of them, you know, and mostly probably because of drugs. That being mentioned, let's get to Proposition 36. Okay, now Proposition 36 was voted yes. Okay, yes on 36, according to Associated Press, they called it has is going to pass, and that proposition has to do with the laws and penalties for drugs and theft. Okay, you've seen a lot of these smash and grabs. Everybody been seeing them. Everybody knows that they were misdemeanors. A lot of times they wouldn't be pursued, or the people would just get cited out. That's going to change in a big way. You know, recently I had gotten pulled over, and a friend of mine had a little personal thing of G on him, and you know, he threw it in the car. I told him, you know, they don't care about that, and they don't. They haven't. Okay. I have talked to people that have gotten caught with balloons, with paraphernalia, you know, 8 balls of this and that, and have been let go by the LA County Sheriff's Department. And not only let go, but they let them get their stuff and leave. You know, take their stuff with them. Well, those days are gonna come to an end, and they're gonna start making people that are caught in possession or under the influence to do drug treatment programs. And of course, people that are selling, especially people that are dealing fentanyl and these high-powered synthetic drugs and stuff, they're going to be doing time. They're going to be getting broke off. You know, I remember years and years ago, man, I had ran into this dude that had caught him with a $10 rock, and I think the dude had got 15 years or something. You know, some crazy ass time for a dime. You know, a little dime personal use of rock. You know. I don't know how they came up with that, but yeah, they broke that dude off. What's going to happen is there's going to be overcrowding again in the jails, in the prisons. There's too many people that are fooling around with different things. You know, the jails are going to get packed again, especially the county jails. And once these people get processed, some of them are going to have to do their times in prison if they're caught with a felony amount of merchandise or whatever this law allows them to do. They're gonna push this. They're gonna start sending people to jail and to prison for different types of drug activity, and all that's gonna do is they're not stupid. They need to keep these prisons full of people. You know, if one side of the government finds a way to relieve some of the pressures of the different agencies that are on them for overcrowding, you know, they make something to allow certain inmates that fit a certain criteria to leave prison, and then they come up with something that's gonna fill it back up. They have to. Their livelihoods depend on it. The money they've invested in these prisons depend on it. You know, there's always something working in the back, man, that motivates people to do things. You know, all of a sudden, they're gonna start doing all this with the drugs. I think it's a good idea. Yeah, sure, make them go do drug programs, make them do live-in drug programs, stuff like that. Yeah, sure. But sending people to prison for that, they're just gonna do it in there, which means there's gonna be more money to be made in prison. You know what I mean? It's all like it's just like a vicious circle, man. Um, I know if I was in prison doing life for some long amount of time, and I seen this coming, man, man, I'd be ready to start moving some funds, some funds around, because it's gonna get profitable. If it's not already, it's gonna get, with all these people going in there. Now, a lot of people that do different drugs and stuff, not all of them are broke. Some of them got money, money to spend, you know, and people do spend a lot to and take a lot of risk and spend a lot of money, man, to feel normal and stuff. I don't know. I just see some. I'm just kind of looking at it from the outside, having been in there before, and having lived through this before, because this is going to be new to a lot of people that were born in the late, maybe 80s, 90s for sure. All these youngsters, they don't know about this, getting caught with a little quarter gram of rock and going in there for 3 years or something. Like, it's going to change things. It's going to change. I think it's going to change things a lot in the system. The jails are going to really be overcrowded, and man, you're going to have all these sick people in there, man, kicking and all of that. For sure, more people are going to die in jail, because they don't take care of you when you're in there, especially if you're in there in that condition. The sheriffs will be like, he's sick, man. It's a hype, and just leave him alone. Turn him on his side. Pat his back. you know. Anyways, there it is. Proposition 36, according to Associated Press, that was a yes. Stricter drug laws, stricter laws on all that smash and grab, and not only that, all the burglaries, the breaking into cars, and going in yards and stealing people's lawnmowers, or going in there. Man, they're going to be looking at a different amount of time now. It's gonna change things up in the jail system, no doubt. Anyways, that's my little spill on the politics. Let's see what happens with Trump. Yeah, we're in for a show, man. We got all that stuff happening out there in the Ukraine, with Russia and Korea, and then we have all the things going on with Israel, and the Palestinians and Iran, and man, there's a lot of shit jumping off in there, out there in that area, and Trump can do so much, man, but throughout the years, us being a part of the nations, it's United Nations there. And if we don't help certain governments, other governments are going to be watching, saying, wait a minute, they left these guys hanging, shit, they might leave any of us hanging, So Trump's gonna not have any choice on some matters. He's gonna have to get in the mix. He's talking about no wars for 4 years during his last term, and that I like to see him pull not getting involved with anything. He said he went and smashed ISIS, but that was it. But there's a lot more happening this term for him. I like to see how he responds and what kind of rhetoric he could come up with to calm things down, And I don't know. Maybe he will. Maybe he will make peace in the Middle East. Maybe it will be a big headline. And that was one of the prophecies, that somebody with able to speak well comes in and brings peace to the Middle East. Anyways, let's just see what happens. We never know. It's going to be quite a show, though. hopefully, like he says, prices will go down, things will get better. We'll have an improvement in the economy. It's true the economy wasn't bad when he was president on the last term. Hopefully, we see those type of improvements. Um, Man, hopefully these food prices come down. You know, I could live with the gas price, but man, the food prices are killing me. It's crazy, you know. I'm a fat boy. I like to eat. All right, everybody. This is my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I'm really curious, man. I know I got some smart viewers, man. You guys sometimes, you know, and I know who you are. You know, I want to hear from you guys, man. I really want to hear what you guys got to say. There's a couple of you that have put things out there that were like way too deep. You guys went right over my head. I don't even know if you're still watching, but if you are, let me hear from you what you guys think about all of this political change and I don't know how you think we're going to be affected, you know, and how the prison systems are going to be affected. You know, I know it's out of hand, man. There's too many people in the streets just walking around all loaded, dumbfounded. Something's got to be done. I just don't know if locking people up is the answer, you know. I know it helped me a lot, but as soon as I got out, I would always fall right back into the same mess. You know, I didn't have the skills nor the desire to not feel good, you know, um, in that world. You know what I mean? Because that stuff will make you think that you're feeling good and everything's all right when it's really not. You know, when you don't realize what all right is. You know, when you really don't know. You know, you think that that's what feeling all right is all about, but it's not. We all know that. Well, most of us, I'm sure all of us know that, man. Everybody that I see on my comments, I know we all know this. You know. Anyways, I'm gonna ramble on. I had too much coffee today. You guys have a good evening. God bless you. God bless your families. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you very much.